Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. Today is Monday, September the 5th, 2022. Happy Labor Day. All right, let's get right into it. We see Sal. I'm not going to hold you long at all. We see Sally and Chloe, and Sally is upset with Chloe because she's like, girl, I did not ask you to go to Adam. She said you're asked because Chloe had her sign off some things. She was like, funny, you'll have me sign off on this, but then you'll go behind my back and make personal decisions to go and talk to Adam. She says, listen, I saw what he did to Chelsea. I don't want him doing that to you. What does he want from you? And Sally says he wants me to forgive him. He wants forgiveness or whatever. And Chloe is just like, please don't fall for this. Please don't fall for what Adam is telling you. But we all know she's in love with him. So then we see Adam and Nick talk. And Adam asked Nick, how are you doing? And Nick was like, I'm cool. And he was like, no, I'm really mean. How are you doing? He said, because what you're going through is something that, really weighs on you. And he said, and I would know. So, he's just telling him, you should probably speak to someone. And Nick is like, a therapist? And he said, yeah. He said, it helped me. And he said, and besides, you don't want to become the man that I am. So get help. And so they were like, Nick is just listening to him or whatever. And he's like, okay. And so, but he tells him he's not ready to go into that right now. So then we see Nick goes and speaks to Nikki, and he just talks to her about, how he understands Adam now. He tells her this is weighing on him. And she says, I know. And she says, everyone else moves on, but you don't move on. And then he says he understands Adam now because although Adam was a child, he's a man. Victor still covered it up, and it's like he understands why Adam doesn't want to get close to anyone because he knows there's a possibility, that is in him. Even though the death, of the men were accidental with both Ashlyn and the man that Adam killed, he still knows that if pushed, he could do that. So he's able to understand Adam just a little bit more and everything and what he's gone through. And even Nikki was like, yeah, when you think about it like that, yeah, like you could understand why he is the way he is and why he doesn't want to get close to people. So then we see Adam talk to Sally and he's asking her for another chance. And she says a part of her does want to. She wants to give him another chance and forget about all of this. But then she says, but until when? Until you decide you're going to go after something else and you want to sacrifice me again. So she's like, I can't talk about this right now. And then we see Chance and Abby. And I think they just threw them in there to have fillers for the storyline. Ma'am. To have fillers for the storyline. And so once they throw them in there and everything, they talk about, everything that went on with him as far as covering the investigation. And he says, I never want you to think we're not good, because she was worried. He was like, no, we're good. And he's moving on from it and everything. And then they end up being intimate. It wasn't much to them, but I do like them as a couple. It just wasn't that much of a storyline today, except for them reassuring each other that, our marriage is solid. Then we see Kyle, who's telling Tracy about, his plans to have another wedding for Summer, where all of their family and friends can be there. And then Summer comes down and she's like, what are y'all talking about? And he said they try to pretend they're talking about sports. And she said, Tracy don't even like sports. So y'all gonna have to come harder than that or whatever. But he throws it off or whatever. And then we see, Then we see where Summer and Kyle talk about the article that came out about Diane, because he didn't even know what they were talking about, because she says, are y'all talking about the article? And he was like, what article? So she tells him about the article that came out about Diane, and he's like, I'm worried about it. I'm going to see what's going on. Then, y'all, we see Talia, Phyllis, and Nikki. And they're like, oh, the article is so good. We can't wait for the rest of the series to come out. And then Talia gets a message that says she can't release any more of the series articles. Her boss has said no. And that's pretty much it with them. They just showed them, as first they were just like so happy and celebrating. And then it said the boss said no, and that's That's it with those three. So then we see Diane and Jack, and she's upset or whatever about, the article, of course. And he says, Diane, you knew people that you hurt were going to come after you or whatever. And he said, and it is an intriguing story, but you're sitting here playing the victim as far as thinking about how this affects you and everything and how people should move on. He said, but you hurt a lot of people. And she's just like, he was just like, just don't revert to your old self. The people who truly care about you, Kyle and all them, they know the truth. So don't even worry about it. And she was like, you're right, Jack. Thank you for the advice. And then Phyllis gonna come up. She always got to mess with Diane. And she gonna say, read any interesting articles, Diane? And Diane was like, unlike you, Phyllis, I have changed and I've moved on or whatever. And Phyllis just doesn't believe her. And so then we see Kyle comes up after Phyllis and Diane's interaction, and he tells Phyllis, Diane, he, about the article, but he wants to support her, and nothing's changed. He still is open to giving her a chance and everything, and she's happy about that. So then Kyle goes to Phyllis, and Kyle lets Phyllis know he's planning this wedding for summer, and she's very excited about it and everything. And then she asks him, did you get the email I sent? And Jack comes in and he's like, yeah, I got the email and it was great. And Kyle was like, yeah, I thought you did a really good job on it as well. And then when Kyle leaves, Jack tells Phyllis, now, were you the one who did that to Diane or whatever? And then I don't know why they do this. They just leave it as a question or whatever. But anyways, Phyllis said, I already know she said it wasn't her or whatever. But then later on, she speaks to Jack and she says, how about Marquetti Home redecorates the Abbott's furniture in their living room, and Jack is just like, what? I love the living room the way it is. And she's like, oh my gosh, Jack, that stuff is old. And he said, it's antiques. And she said, no, it's old. And he says, okay, you can redecorate. And she said, okay, we won't change the wallpaper or anything. He was like, fine, you can redecorate. But when it's all set, when everything is done, you put it back the way it was. she was And she was like, okay, Jack, have you always been like this, hated change? And he said, since I was a little boy. And so him and Phyllis are having like just a laugh moment as friends or whatever. And Diane comes up and she sees it. Before that, Kyle and Summer, she kind of hears him on the phone, so she knows there's a surprise for her, but she's not 100% sure. But anyway, so Diane comes up and she sees Jack and Phyllis. Now, earlier somebody told her they deaded the articles. You're welcome. And so she hits them back and she says, don't, everything is still up in the air here. Still tentative here. So you shouldn't contact me right now, whatever. And I said, Diane, who are you talking to? Or whatever, because y'all know they make it seems like she's had a change and everything. So I was hoping that, I was like, this storyline is boring if this is just there's nothing she's hiding. Ooh, child. I said this storyline is boring if there's nothing she's hiding, but she's clearly hiding something. So something's going on. And I know a lot of people were like, Diane's done nothing wrong, but I feel like there's something about to come up. And maybe it's gonna come up around the time that Kyle and Summer plan this wedding. But who knows. But I thought it was funny because at first I was like, well, maybe Michael Baldwin did it, the articles. I said, but no, it would have said Michael, and there's not saying the person's name on the text. So we'll see, y'all. That was what happened on the soaps Young and the Restless edition. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for a new edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.